What's going on, guys? Aggronix here, and I'm very happy to welcome you guys finally to Season 3 of the Elysian League. Now, there has been a lot of drafting going on over the week, obviously because the draft was on. That was very poorly worded. But you know what? We're going to truck on anyway. The draft took place during the week, and instead of doing it in one day in a 4-hour span, we said we stretch it out over a week because there was no rush to start. It's summer. We can all relax. We can all chill. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Everyone drafted incredible teams, and the competition this year is much higher than last year for sure. So just to jump in on the rules of the draft, in case you guys are not aware, how the draft works is you draft 11 Pokemon, and it's very different to the GBA as well. So if you don't know how it works, please listen, because that's very important to how the teams look. You draft 11 Pokemon. You draft 5 tier Pokemon. From each tier. They're not standard OU, UU tiers. They're actually tiered by the leader of the, organizer, we'll say, of the Elysian League, Joey. Dribbling Extra, link in the description. He made his own tiers, and you pick one mon from each tier. There are 5 tiers. Tier 1, mostly OU. Tier 2, mostly OU and UU. So on. Tier 5, mostly PU. And then you pick a Mega. The Mega has 4 tiers. They're 1, 2, 3, and 4. Tier 1 is like the best of the best, and it costs points to pick up. Tier 2 costs nothing. Tier 3 actually gains you points. You get 40 points for picking up a Tier 3 Mega, and you gain 80 points for picking up a Tier 4 Mega. So that was pretty important. And then after that, you have 480 points, and whatever your Mega gave you, or less, depending. You have 480 points, roughly, to pick up 5 Pokemon from any tier you want to build the rest of your team. But obviously, you can't go over 480. Tier 1 cost 180 points, Tier 2 120, Tier 3 80, Tier 4 40, and Tier 5 20. So it was really fun, and a lot of great teams, like I said. So let's get into it. My first pick. Now, my first pick was kind of disappointing. Not because it's not a good man at all, but I'm going to be real with you guys. I wanted to build my whole team around Jirachi. Now, the plan was to pick up Hydreigon first round, and then pick up Jirachi second or third. I was going to pick up maybe Infernape second if it was available. If not, Jirachi. That was the plan. And that didn't happen. Jirachi, I was 7th pick, by the way. There are 18 people. I was 7th pick. Jirachi was picked 5th by 6 paths, and I was kind of devastated. I was like, damn it, that was the whole plan was Jirachi. So the second that happened, I was like, okay, scrap the plan, scrap it completely. And also my friend Kraft was talking about Infernape a lot, so I knew and he was like after me, but the wheel pick, because of the wheel pick, he get his 2 before I get my he get his second before I get my second. So unless I picked Infernape first round, I wasn't gonna get Infernape. So and even crafting it Infernape, it actually went sooner than that. So I decided to go with Latios. Now, Latios is a fantastic Pokemon. Obviously hits incredibly hard, base 110 speed, so it hits really hard, and is fast, which is very important. I wanted to pick up a Dragon type round 1, as you could tell because I said Hydreigon, and looking through the dragons, and not a lot of them interested me. Kyron Black wasn't too interesting because of the speed. Hydreigon was great because of U-turn, but other than that, I didn't find him incredibly interesting. The ones that I contemplated the most were Latios, and Garchomp. And it really came down to, I didn't want to get Latias because I didn't want a defensive dragon. I wanted an offensive dragon. I feel like Latios is better than Latias. That's a fact. Latias is more defensive. Latios is more, offensive, So it came down to Garchomp and Latios. Obviously, I picked Latios. The reason being is because while Garchomp is great because it gets rocks, it has an electric immunity. I feel like Garchomp is very situational. I don't think I'd be able to use it properly. Obviously, it's great Rocky Helmet. Rough Skin is great against things like Mega Lopunny and Ambipom, a lot of Fake Out users. It's great in that instance, but I feel like Garchomp would just be too worrying for me to use, like stressing about which set to run. I feel like Latios is a lot more versatile. Garchomp can either be offensive or defensive. That's it. That's all it can do. Latios can be a Dragon Dance, It's really, really nice. You can run Scarf to outspeed things. Obviously, Garchomp can as well. But Latios will outspeed more things if he's Scarf. Garchomp won't, if they're Scarf as well. And Latios has Defog, which was the biggest thing. Latios is Defog, which means Latios is a team player. Latios is a team player. It works for the team. It's not a, you know, a lone warrior. It works with the team. And Defog was what I wanted off the bat. I wanted a Mon. I just wanted instant hazard control. And the best thing about Latios, he's a Pokemon that gets Defog that's not weak to rocks, which is a big problem with Defog. Because, you know, Mandibuzz, Togekiss, that's all I can think off the top of my head. They're great, but they're weak to rocks. And that's why Gliscor and Scizor are so... you know, great. I didn't pick up Gliscor because I didn't want it. I didn't pick up Scizor. I was thinking about Mega Scizor, but I wanted to get it on the way back, and literally Mega Scizor went the next pick after mine. So, Latios was great. I really like Latios, and I think it'll do great. And hey, I can just drop a Draco anytime I want, and it'll be great. So, with that being said, I had to rethink everything. I was like, okay, what Mega am I going to get? I didn't want to just throw a team together. I wanted to make some really, really good synergy. And you can obviously tell that because remember last season I had Aggron, Dragonite, Melodic, Sylveon. That was a great core and, you know, it was really, really strong. And I wanted to do something similar to that, but more offensive. I wanted to play more offensive this season, which is a huge part of my draft, guys. Please be aware that this is an offensive draft. I have some defensive mons. I have some offensive mons that can be defensive. But this is an offensive team. I want to focus on being able to kill mons, not focus on being able to take hits, which is very, very important. Which is why the next mon I picked up was my Mega. I picked up Mega Absol. Now, Absol is a Mega that I don't know too much about, but I know it can do the work if used correctly. Mega Absol is fantastic. Base 115 speed, 150 physical attack, 115 special attack. Really, really strong. Yeah, Sucker Punch, Play Rough, Mega Horn, Knockoff, one of the best moves in the game. You can run Special, Ice Beam, and Flamethrower. I just think Mega Absol is a great Pokemon. And again, like Latios, it's not just an offensive Pokemon that does that. It's offensive. It also gets Magic Bounce, which is huge. 2 mons straight away that deal with hazards. Now, Absol obviously doesn't deal with hazards, but with Magic Bounce, your opponent doesn't want to go for rocks. There's that nagging in the back there saying, okay, what if he swaps in a Mega Absol? That's really, really bad. So, that's why Mega Absol is so great. And also, Swords Dance Mega Absol is disgusting. It really, really is strong. And something that I didn't notice when I picked it, but Mega Absol beats Mega Sableye. I just thought about it when I drafted. I was like, hey, you know, it gets player off. You can Will-O-Wisp because of Magic Bounce is pretty good. And I think Mega Absol will do a great job for us. And they have great synergy, Latios and Mega Absol. They're both weak to Bug, yes, but I'm not too worried about it. Next, let me just fill you in on what was picked. Stuff that was picked was Clefable, Infernape, Togekiss, Mega Absol, of course, Rotom Wash, Cofagrigus and Registeel, Salamence, Excadrill, Victini, Suicune, a lot of mons gone. And because I picked up Latios and Mega Absol, those two were free. I still have 480 points. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pick up a tier 1. I needed a Steel type. And I needed a Fire type. So I picked up Heatran. Heatran was still available in the 3rd round. What the fuck? Heatran was still available in the 3rd round, and I was like, I have to pick it up. I have to. There's no mon that's going to fit my team better. I needed a Steel type and I needed a Fire type. After playing last season, seeing how well Mega Aggron did, I knew that Steel types are very, very important. But last season, one of the biggest problems with my team is that I didn't have a Fire type near the end of the season because I drafted away Pyroar. And I was like, no, I don't need a Fire type. It's going to be fine. Connor, you're a fucking idiot. Fire types are so important. And Heatran is, honestly, I feel like one of the best. Obviously, the 4 times weakness to ground is annoying, but Latios is immune to it. And we can run berries and play around it, so I'm not too worried about it. Heatran gets Will-O-Wisp, Stealth Rock, Earth Power, Flash Cannon, Lava Plume. Really, really cool. It gets Magma Storm, so it's very, very dangerous in that aspect. It has like 70, I don't know what speed, I think it's 77 speed. So it's not too slow. It's fast enough for a wall, but it also hits so hard. Base 130 attack, or sorry, 130 special attack, the same as Latios. So it will hit hard. And I've seen Sixpass do some crazy work last season with Heatran. Run Choice Scarf Heatran, you know, Choice Specs, Fire Blast, you know, it can be very, very dangerous. And I'm really, really excited to use it. I've never used Heatran in Draft League, obviously. I've only ever played one season, ever, except for a Little Cup, so 2 technically. But I use Heatran all the time on the ladder, so I'm pretty familiar with Heatran. It's just, it'll be interesting to see how I use it in the Draft League format. So, going in around 4. Again, mons that were picked up. Slowbro, Shaman, Terrakion, Scolipede, you know, Sylveon. A lot of very, very good mons. And the thing that I noticed is that this next mon, might be seen as a mon that, you know, doesn't really fit my team. But I knew that any mon of this type wouldn't fit my team. In round 4, I picked up the electric powerhouse. I picked up Jolteon. Now, Jolteon, I wanted to pick it up for the speed. I wanted to pick it up for the speed also because it hits pretty hard. People say it doesn't hit hard with base 110. It hits hard enough. I feel like, obviously with choice specs, it'll hit incredibly hard. And you're so fast, you don't have to run timid all the time. You can sometimes, or usually, run modest. Which is really, really nice. And Jolteon, as you can see if you look at the other mons, it doesn't fit my team really, really well. It shares a ground weakness with Heatran, which is really, really annoying. So Latios is my only immunity to ground, and Mega Absol is neutral to it. So ground so far isn't very, very nice, but my next mon covers that fine, so it's okay. But I wanted Jolteon because I felt like there was no electric type that could replace Jolteon. And I knew if I didn't pick up Jolteon, I would regret it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick Jolteon. I'm just going to, you know, not worry about it at all. Pick Jolteon, and that's what I did. And I'm very, very happy I did because, you know, Volt Absorb being immune to electricity, or electric, is nice just because sometimes you can't always bring a ground type. And we do have a ground type on the team. So now we have 2 immunities to electric, which is just nice. And again, the same as, you know, Mega Absol with Stealth Rocks, the same as Latios, or sorry, the same as Heatran with a Poison type move, or Latios with a ground type move. People don't really want to click Volt Switch if Jolteon is around, you know? Which is really, really nice. And Jolteon's speed is great, which is another reason I wanted to draft it. So Jolteon was great. So far, our team was looking very, very offensive. I felt like we needed to round things out. We needed to get rid of this fighting and ground weakness. So, in round 5, again, mons that were picked up were like Heliolisk, Mega Sceptile, Powdon, a lot of really good mons. Mega Ampharos went. And in round 3, 6 paths picked up Granbull in round 3. And at the time, I was like, that's very, very odd. I don't think he should have done that. But looking back, yeah, it was a great idea because why bother risking getting, you know, not getting the lower tier mons when you could just pick it straight away and still get something great in tier 1. So I kind of took a page out of his book. In round 5, I picked up Weezing from tier 4. Now, Weezing is a really, really good mon. Will-O-Wisp, Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower, Pain Split, Infestation, which I don't think I'm going to run, but it's nice to, you know, have the, you know, the option to. Weezing, obviously, immune to ground with Levitate and Resist Fighting, which is perfect for the team. You'll see Weezing has really, really good synergy with everything. Weezing is only weakness is Psychic, which means Latios, Mega Absol, and Heatran all resist it, which is so freaking cool. And Heatran is a physically defensive mon. And it's good to have a mon that's its job, that's what it does, end of the story, you know. Weezing can be run somewhat offensive. You can run a little bit of a, you know, special attack into it and run Sludge Bomb, Flamethrower and stuff. But I like Weezing. I think he fits the team really, really well. And I was happy to pick him up. I really, really was. And I feel like it'll be a nice mon to have. And it'll counter some things because there are a lot of mons in, like, I don't want to say I counter-teamed, but sometimes, I won't lie, I kind of did, you know. For example, so, what happened? Sorensen picked up Slowbro. And I was like, wait, that wasn't in... I'm trying to think. No, that wasn't. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Screw what I'm trying to say, I'm just trying to be an idiot. Weezing is great. End of story. Again, mons that were picked up in round 6. Craft pick up Volcanion. What the fuck? Round 6? He was saying Heatran in round 3 was crazy, and I was like, you got Volcanion in round 6, dude. What the hell? So, round 6. I had somewhat of a Dragon Steel Fairy Core, Heatran Latios, and I didn't have any part of a fire, water, or grass core except for Heatran. So I wanted to get that. I also needed a fighting type. And again, I dipped a little bit into the lower tiers because I felt like there was no rush in getting my tier 1s and tier 2s straight away. I could wait. That's exactly what I did because my round 7 mon is great. And I knew it would be there, you know, when I came back. So for round 6, I picked up Virizion. Now, Virizion is a mon that always seems to do well when I see it. You know, it's a mon that on the surface doesn't seem that great. Very, very, very specially defensive. Has 108 speed, which is nice, just being able to outspeed a lot of those fast mons. Being able to outspeed Mega Pinsir, which is useless because he just quick attack, never mind. He just quick attacks. But Virizion is really, really cool. Again, you know, it's on the surface, it doesn't look great. It only has 90 base attack and special attack, which means it's not going to hit too hard. But the thing I like about Virizion is it gets Swords Dance and it gets Calm Mind, so it can be offensive and specially offensive, which is really, really nice. I like having that diversity. I feel like not a lot of mons on my team so far have that. Heatran, to a certain extent, has it. Weezing kind of has it. Mega Absol has it for sure, and so does Latios. But Virizion, I feel like you cannot know for sure what I'm going to do with it every week. Someone's like, what? Like, what is his Virizion going to run? He could run offensive, or he could run specially offensive. I could run Assault Vest because his special attack, special defense is absurd. It's like 120 something. It's great. His defense is, yeah, it's a bit lacking at like 70 something, which is a bit unfortunate. But I felt like Virizion was a great mon, and Virizion's 4 times weak to electric. 4 times weak to electric. 4 times weak to flying, and we have resistances in Heatran and Jolteon. So you'll see that we're building somewhat of a good core here, and I'm starting to like it. Yes, Virizion shares a psychic weakness with Weezing, but like I said, Latios, Mega Absol, and Heatran just don't care about psychic types, so I didn't see any problem with that. And Virizion's also weak to fire, and Heatran has Flash Fire, which is just muchas gracias. So, going into the 7th round, I was like, I need a water type. I need a water type. And I wanted another mon that was off the ground. I felt like, even though I have Weezing now, and even though I have Virizion that resists it, ground types are still really freaking annoying. So, like I said, I was confident this mon would not drop. I was confident this mon would not get picked, because it's a mon that not a lot of people like to pick because of its 4 times weakness to electric. Tier 2, I picked up Gyarados. Now, Gyarados not only is one of my favorite Pokemon, but it's really, really good. After dropping to UU a few months ago, it's been destroying some teams, dude. Dragon Dance, offensive with Intimidate or Moxie. That's the thing about Gyarados as well. It has 2 abilities, and they're both good. They're both useful, you know, which is really, really nice. And Gyarados also, like I said, he can run Dragon Dance offensive. He can also run Thunder Wave defensive, which is really, really cool. Yes, Gyarados 4 times weak to electric, 4 times weakness to electric is annoying, but I picked up Jolteon, so that was the plan. After hitting Jolteon, I was like, okay, well, Gyarados would be really, really good here. And I wanted to pick up Gyarados because I saw Envy use it in the GBA, and it's like, yeah, why not use Gyarados? It's a great mon, it's very, very strong, it's pretty versatile, and only has 2 weaknesses, being weak to rock and electric. Now, obviously, again, the electric weakness is really, really bad, and he's weak to rock, so even though he's only weak to 2 things, those 2 things are really, really annoying. But, you know, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Now that I look at it actually here, our team is pretty weak to rock. Just rock in general. But, we'll get to some lower picks. So I picked up Gyarados. Gyarados was great. But I still had a lot of points. And at this point, I started giving up on the counter team. I just decided, hey, I'm just going to pick up, you know, whatever. Whatever fit the team. So going into round, what round is it? I think it's 8. Round 8, I needed a ground type. And I had gone back and forth about Claydol. Now, I wanted Claydol because Claydol is great, but I felt like it didn't fit my team. I already had a Psychic type in Latios, and I mean, maybe it would have been good. It would have been a Rapid Spinner, which would mean, you know, definite hazard control, not having to worry about Latios, Mega Absol having to defog, or Magic Bounce. But I decided against it. Instead of going with a tier 4 defensive ground type, I was like, screw it. Screw it. Let's go on offensive tier 2 ground type. We picked up your boy Diggersby. Young Rab is here, alright? Young Rabbi is here. Diggersby is honestly one of my favorite Pokemon. I don't know what it is about it, but People hate his design, and that's why I love his design. It's the trolliest design ever. Diggersby is a monster. Huge power earthquake is gonna do a ton to anything. It has great coverage as well. It's great coverage. U-turn, quick attack, earthquake obviously, gunk shot, fire punch, foul play. Really, really good moves, and I felt like it fit my team really, really well. The only thing about Diggersby that he doesn't have, that he has that other ground types don't, is that he's weak to fighting. But again, Weezing and Gyarados kind of spit in the face of any fighting type. So, and Latios is there as well. So I've chosen not to worry about it too much. And looking through the teams, there's not really a team that just straight up threatens me with a certain fighting type. Like, I feel like I can deal with anything. And Diggersby just hits incredibly hard, and I like it a lot. It gives me another immunity to electric, so I just wanted to make Gyarados more threatening by picking up another threatening Mon, if that makes any sense. You know, people won't want to go for Thunderbolt if it means Jolteon or Diggersby get a free swap, you know? And Diggersby can be very, very good. He also has priority as well, which my team is pretty lacking, except for Absol with Sucker Punch, I believe, is all I have. Verzion might get quick attack. And faint. I think it gets quick attack. I'm pretty sure it gets quick attack. I don't know if it gets faint. But, alright. So, going at this point, I had, I believe, 80 points? 60 points. I had 60 points left. All I could pick up, I decided to pick up a tier 4 and 2 tier 5s. So, the tier 4 would cost me 40, bring me down to 20. The first tier 5 would cost me nothing, and the second tier 5 would cost me 20, which means I'd have 0 points left. I'd literally be on the skin of my teeth of being under points. So, my 9th round pick was an interesting Mon, a Mon again that I really, really like, and I feel I can do a lot of work, and it's a Mon that not a lot of people pay a lot of attention to. And again, in some ways, this was a bit of a counter draft. I saw some of the Mons that were being drafted, and I was like, I can't really deal with that. Let me pick up this. So, going through what other people got, Kraft got Togekiss, Kyurem Black, and Volcanion, you know. Steven got Victini. Gomez got Infernape. You know, threatening teams. And I felt like right now, I needed a good, solid Mon that can just take any hit necessary. I picked up Regirock, and I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Regirock is a tier 4 rock type. Obviously, great defense and great special defense. And great attack as well. Base 100 attack. He hits pretty hard. Has Drain Punch, Stealth Rock, which was a huge thing. I wanted a Stealth Rocker, because right now, I believe my only Stealth Rocker is Heatran. I don't think Diggersby gets Stealth Rock. Actually, I doubt it. So that gives me my only other Stealth Rocker, which is a bit annoying, but we also have Magic Bounce on Absol, so, you know, maybe there's something there. But the Regirock is great because it's great. It's great, and I feel like once the water type Scalders are dead, once the grass types are dead, sometimes Regirock can just wall out those flying types, which are very, very scary. Flying types are a huge problem for my team if you look through it, so I wanted to get a strong, confident wall to that and stop to that. I wanted a good block to fire types. And the reason that I was afraid of Heatran, because Heatran's weak to you know, ground and fighting. Also, Regirock's also weak to ground and fighting. But I didn't think it mattered because Regirock can still take both of those hits better anyway. And Regirock is just good. I like Regirock a lot, and I think it'll bring a lot to the team. The main reason I picked it up is because it's a great Mon. It's a type I didn't have yet. I didn't have a rock type yet, and I wanted a Stealth Rocker. So, going in around 10, we were hit tier 5, bottom of the barrel. And in the opposite of what you guys might think, there are a lot of power. There's a lot of power in tier 5, a lot of untapped potential. And there were so many Mons that I was thinking about in tier 5. Tier 5 was actually one of the most difficult picks of the whole draft, which is funny because I might never, you know, use them. Oh my god, my chair squeaked. What the fuck? So, Mons that I was thinking about picking up in tier 5. Moltres was available. I decided against it, only because I already had Heatran and I didn't feel like I needed another fire type. Even though Moltres was great and it was a great value pick, it didn't match up with my opponent's teams very, very well, and I didn't feel like it would bring anything to the team. Barbaracle, Shell Smasher. I liked it, but I didn't think it would, you know, do a lot of work for me, unfortunately. I didn't feel like it would do well. Swellow was a huge possibility. I decided against it because I felt like Gyarados can get bounce, and flying types hit what? Grass types, Weezing and Heatran got that. They hit bug types, Regirock has that. They hit... What else do they hit? What else do flying types hit? I've literally gone blank. Fighting types, I have Weezing and Latios. So, I didn't feel like a flying type was necessary, and I already Gyarados. So, I'm gonna stop wasting your time. I actually picked another Mon. That was another type that I already have, but I feel like his typing is so unnecessary. Like, it's so... doesn't matter, because he's so frail anyway. I picked up Kadabra. Dab! Now, Kadabra is a Mon that is basically... Joey said it best himself. He said, hey, why pick up Gengar? Alright, if Gengar goes, it's not that big a deal. You just pick up Haunter. You spend way less points, and you get a Mon that's virtually almost as fast, hits almost as hard, and could do very, very well. And I kind of applied that same logic to Kadabra. I was thinking about picking up Alakazam instead of Diggersby, but I felt like getting a higher tier ground type was more important. And then when I went into tier 5 thinking about a Mon to pick up, I was like, Kadabra basically does what Alakazam does, and is actually still like, okay. The problem I have with Haunter is that Haunter doesn't break the 100 speed barrier, which is kind of important for him to even be compared to Gengar. Kadabra has base 105 speed, which means I will outspeed all those base 100s, and I will put a massive dent in it. Not only that, he has base 120 special attack, so he doesn't, you know, he's not passive at all. He hits really, really hard, especially if I run Magic Guard Life Orb. He'll hit incredibly hard. Obviously, Magic Guard Focus Sash will be the set I'll probably most likely run, because even Alakazam can take a Psychic. I doubt Kadabra can take a Psychic from like a Latias or something. So I picked up Kadabra because I felt like it'd be a Mon that could be really, really useful. You know, 1 week if I need a Mon dead, I bring it in, I waste the Focus Sash, go for Psyshock or Dazzling Gleam or whatever, I kill something, and then let Diggersby or Gyarados or Jolteon come in and clean up the game. And that was my logic I used on that. So going in around 11, really torn on what I wanted to pick up. I decided I'm gonna screw Moltres. I'm gonna, you know, push away Barbaracle. I'm gonna forget about Blossom. Was a huge one for a while, honestly. Blossom is actually decently bulky. I decided to go with Lapras. Lapras is a Mon that I feel like is pretty underrated in the draft league. Now, obviously, if you've watched A-Drive's battle in the MPA, I'm pretty sure he set up Cresselia and Lapras. So, yes, Lapras is not going to lead the league in kills, but I feel like what it does is pretty good. It has base 130 HP, so it's really bulky. He's water and ice. I didn't have an ice type yet, which is one of the reasons I picked it up, because like Barbaracle, I already have a water and I already have a rock type. Moltres, I already have a flying and a fire type. Let me pick up Lapras because at least I get something good from it. And I didn't want to pick up Avalok because I think it was already picked actually. But Lapras is a heal battler. I get Surf and Ice Beam, Freeze Dry, which is really cool, which means I don't get walled by water types, which is really cool. Lapras will beat most other water types, like Milotic or something, which is really cool. It gets Toxic, obviously. It gets Perish Song, which I think actually would be really cool to run some week. Perish Song on something, on Lapras, and try to kill something, or force something out, basically. I feel like Lapras can be very good. Not only that, it gets Dragon Dance. So, you know what? Maybe 1 week if I'm feeling awful frisky, I can run some Dragon Dance shenanigans and get a sweep with Lapras. That'd be pretty amazing. So that was my draft. That was the 11 Mons that I picked up. I'm pretty happy about how my draft turned out, and I think we definitely have you know, a good chance in this league at this time. I really like my team. I actually really like my team from top to bottom. I think every Mon has its reason to be there. I don't feel like any Mon looks too out of place, except for possibly Kadabra, but you know what? Kadabra may look out of place now, but you will have to see it in battle first, and we'll see how it does. I think Gyarados and Diggersby Virizion is great. I love that. Jolteon was great. Latios and Mega Absol, I'm over the moon about. Heatran, great. Heatran, Gyarados, Jolteon cover all of each other's weaknesses in just 3, so it's perfect. And I'm really excited. The competition this season is off the scale, so if you guys think we have a cakewalk this season, no. We actually don't have even close to one of the best teams in the league. There are teams with Megalopony, Togekiss, Kyron Black. There's an extra little Hippowdon team with Salamence. There's Clefable and Fernape Core. Victini, Suicune, Donphan. Like, teams are so great this season. We are in Team Magma, and we are going to have a fantastic season. The first battle is be going up the weekend coming. We're going to be facing Tepig, a good friend of mine, and a person we played in the Little Cup playoffs. We beat him in the quarterfinals, so it'll be very, very interesting to see what he does. His team was great as well. Gothitelle, Mega Diancie, Starmie, but I won't speak too much about that. I'll leave it for the video coming this weekend. I hope you guys are excited, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys have, make sure to hit the like button down below first, and subscribe if you're not already to become a member of the Aggronix. We are a wholesome family, and I hope you guys enjoy your stay here. With that being said, I'm out of here. I've been Aggronix, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye!